Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today is Friday and we're going to talk about the extended format. Guys, the last two videos were kind of long, so I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. The extended format is pretty much very limited as far as great decks for play. The last few sets in black and white and X and Y have pretty much stormrolled what is possible in the extended format. With the exception of a couple of donk decks, a lot of your viable decks in this format are going to mostly include the newer cards, as a lot of your attackers are going to have Stormroll HP and Stormroll attack. Now, given that there are a couple of cards that can actually work without this, like Machamp from Stormfront, Garchomp level X from Majestic Dawn. You have possibly, let's see, Lugia EX from Unseen Forces. There are a couple cards that you can actually use to do some really good things with. But for the most part, a lot of your cards aren't really good enough to compete with the unlimited set. Now, we're going to talk about key cards for the unlimited set. Your key cards are going to include cards that allow you to draw primarily. These cards include Claydol, which is probably the best draw card there is. Basically, evolves from Baltoy, fighting type, 80 HP, retreat cost of 2, great encounters, ability, cosmic power. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand, put them on the bottom of your deck. If you do draw, you have 6 cards in your hand. So this is a pretty good draw, and it allows you to pretty much cycle out the cards you don't need with the cards you do need. And that's what makes it broken. If it was just drawn to you have 6 cards, it wouldn't be as broken as the whole cycle deal. But sometimes you don't want to cycle out your cards. Sometimes you want to keep what you have. And that brings me to my next Pokemon. Uxie from Legends Awaken. Uxie, basically you throw it down on the bench and use setup its ability, its Pokemon or Poke Power, and you draw until you have 7 cards. And that's pretty good. The good thing about Uxie is that it's a basic. You throw it down on the bench, and in base set, you can use Scoop Up, bring it back to your hand. Boom, that's it. And then coming out in this next set, Roaring Skies, we have Shaman EX. Throw it down, draw until you have 6 cards. I mean, this is a standard. This is a standard card, but it can also be used in the unlimited format. Not saying I would suggest it, but but it works very well with cards like Winona. You can even use Porygon 2 with download, which is very awesome because he fits perfectly with the whole colorless concept. It's the only reason I talk about Shaman EX. You have Unknown R, play it down, use its Poke Power, discard it, and draw a card. I mean, that's pretty hype. Poke Drawer Plus. If you play 1 down, draw a card. If you play 2 down at the same time, search your deck for any 2 cards. That's very helpful. Another one we have is Victory Medal, which is a promo card. Yes, I do have plenty of Victory Medals. I won 2 battle roads, so that's kind of an achievement. So I got 2 from that, and then I had to trade for a whole bunch. But anyway, the Victory Medal, flip 2 coins. If one of them's heads, draw a card. If both of them are heads, search your deck for any 1 card. That's pretty good. Tropical Beach, Stadium card. Draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. End your turn. Still a very viable turn 1 card, given that you have absolutely no way to attack. There are several cards. Those are just some of the best cards to use. I didn't even get into trainer cards that we could use that aren't supporter cards, like Erica from Gym Heroes. Erica is basically play it, draw 3 cards, and your opponent can draw 3 cards too, but still, just draw 3 cards. I mean, I absolutely love that card. I mean, it's really no drawback for you if you're playing like a donk deck. You have Professor Oak, which is not a supporter. It's pretty much a Juniper and a Sycamore, except just a trainer. Then you have Bill, which is draw 2 cards. This is just a trainer. You have, let's see, you have Bicycle, Arco Bike, several cards that you can choose from, which are really great in the unlimited format. But your draw support is basically 1/3 of your deck's consistency and about a 1/4 of your deck's reliability. Because without the draw support, you are not going to be able to get what you need out fast enough to win games. Against donk decks, if, say for instance, you're running a donk deck, you have to have a massive amount of draw support. In these decks, 1/3 of your deck is going to be draw support. And you're not going to have 1/3 of it being your consistency. You're going to have 100% of it being your consistency. And it's going to be basically your supporters are stacked. It's like, say, take for instance, Porygon 2. Porygon 2 with Drift Bloom, like I talked before, and Sableye, maybe if you want to start out with it. Of course, you don't even have to have Sableye, because you can have a 3/3 or 4/4 Porygon 2, and basically you have Seekers, you have Broken Time Space, you'll have Boost Energy, you have Azelf, Ditto, Regice, Rattata from Team Rocket Set. You have all kinds of stuff that can get you out of any situation, Spiritomb or no Spiritomb. You can get out of so many situations, and this is what I'm talking about. Your draw support for decks like these are absolutely vital, because in cases where you have to have Spiritomb, you have to have cards like Pokemon Collector. You have to have Uxie, Claydolls at your disposal. Well, not Claydolls, but in that kind of deck. But if you run a deck that sets up past turn 1, then yeah, you're going to run stuff like Claydol, and therefore giving you a lot more consistency in your draw. But that being said, there are tons, and I mean it when I say this, there are tons of ways that you can make draw support combinations work for different decks. What is best for your particular deck? I don't know. The only way I can tell you is to actually, get out there and try it. And I'm sorry guys that the screen's getting a little dark. I am in a room that was very light at the beginning of the day, but it's starting to get dimmer. But you guys can hear me. You can kind of see me, but you guys probably don't want to see my beautiful face anyway. I think that's right. I can't do it with 2 hands no more. But anyway, I thought I'd talk about draw support. Draw support is absolutely vital for the extended format, and it counts for pretty much a third of the deck's consistency and a 1/4 of its reliability. And if you don't believe me, get out there and try it. I mean, there's no other way that you can tell whether it is by not trying it. Every time I've tried it, I've tried dozens of decks out and extended, and the only way to get them to work is exactly what I said. 1/3 of your deck's draw support is consistency, and 1/4 is reliability. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. We're going to stay under 10 minutes. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, post any comments in the comment section down below. And as always, I hope you guys had as much fun as I had, and I'll see you guys next time. At Shifty's. God, that hurts so bad.